Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 5, Episode 6. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, Tiffany pulls up to the house store. Destiny's in the office. And girl, I hope you're working on that payroll because you know they say the people say you don't pay. Child, I just had to get it real quick, honey. A little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. I'm just playing with your Destiny, but that is what they saying, child, in the streets. So Tiffany apologizes. Oh, hold on. Allegedly. So Tiffany apologized for not being able to make the event. But I could have sworn online I saw that they were there because I could have sworn I saw Louis holding back either Martel or Marsau. Child, I must be losing my mind. But see, Carlos will do that in a minute. Okay, he will do that in a minute because y'all remember last season when that whole party scene was totally different and it was looking like Martel and Mel were going to get into it at the party because she was there with another dude when she really wasn't. But then that part was completely cut out. I know I ain't the only one, child. They be trying to play Jedi mind tricks, honey. This editing is really editing. She started asking her who all came, and Destiny tells her, well, 2 uninvited guests came. Stormy, she gave me some flowers in a Gucci box. Girl, a Gucci box? Why are you describing it like that? Wasn't it a purse in the box? They gonna get on my nerves. They gonna get on my nerves. So Tiffany is like, well, that's nice, right? That's a nice friend. So Destiny said, well, it was a nice gesture. So Destiny said, well, you know, she said that she wanted to talk. So I need to get my mind right first. And then, you know, we can sit down and get into it as we get into it. So then she tells her that Mel came and didn't speak and walked right on past her. Destiny, she did speak. She didn't walk up to you directly and she didn't say it loud. She didn't project her voice. Now, we know Mel know how to project her damn voice. Okay. And I'm not going to sit here and let y'all play in my face and act like, you know, well, I changed that. Yes, she spoke to her, but she didn't hear it. Okay, so there's that. But Destiny, please stop repeating that she didn't speak because she spoke. So she was like, okay, so she didn't speak to you. So Destiny said, well, if she did, it wasn't good enough for me. So then she tells Tiffany what she said, and she told her that she should have been escorted out like she did Tisha. Destiny, make sure you also tell her the part where you were screaming it from the door when she was already outside. Okay, don't act like you was face to face, honey, getting into it as y'all got into it, because you know you waited till her bob was bobbing from the back and you was like, make sure the next time you come to somebody's establishment, did you speak to somebody in somebody's establishment? Oh my goodness, these apples crazy. I'm not about to let these people worry me, honey. So they flash back to when Gomer Pyle escorted Tisha at the event. Y'all ain't gonna never forget that. I was pissed when I watched that episode. Now, I don't care how y'all feel about Tisha, but that was just disrespectful on every level. Because I really felt at that time, I think that's really when the trajectory of everything really turned. Like, I think that is the moment. If we go back to that episode, that is the moment where the foolishness ensued. Now, I know it started with, you know, them saying, go on down to the bar and see what your husband doing when you ain't looking. Well, why don't you go see what a matching BMWs, all that? Yes, that's a part of it. But also, when Tisha got escorted out of that event, and I don't know if y'all remember seeing the after or behind the scenes or whatever, and they showed Tisha in the car crying because she had been escorted out and Kimmy went back inside. Now, see, one thing about me, okay? Now, I don't have no fan favorites. I don't really too much care for the show anymore. But I was watching this show when nobody would even look at it. Okay? When nobody even knew what it was, honey. You know how you just be scrolling and then you see a show? And I remember seeing a group of people in a picture and it looked like they were walking. And it said Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I said, well, let's just check it out. It was on the app. So I was like, let me just check it out. And baby, from episode 1, I was hooked. So, you know, for people who come to me and say, well, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Baby, I ain't talking about when y'all started, when it started popping and everybody started getting into it, honey. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about really paying attention and knowing what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just saying. Moving forward. That's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So then she tells her about, you know, going up to Miss Wanda and, you know, Mel beeline into Miss Wanda. She did not beeline to Miss Wanda, okay? She was walking away from one thing and she went over here to the other. So Tiffany wants to know why they weren't in the store celebrating her. Because Mel came to confront Miss Wanda, honey. She didn't care nothing about Destiny or that hairstyle. So Destiny said, well, it's because it was about whatever Mel wanted to pop off with. That's what it was about. Regardless if it was a cast open call or whatever it was, I feel like there was a time and a place for that. And that was not the time nor the place to confront Miss Wanda. It just was not. So Tiffany said, listen, I got to work on my timing, but I feel like other people need to work on theirs as well. Tiffany, now what I'm starting to notice about you, and I'm not saying, you should be biased or whatever, but you giving messy. You giving me messy, honey, because let us not forget that Destiny nor Stormy cared anything for you at all. Okay. And when you and Destiny were going at it, Mel had your back. So you can't just take one side of the story and just listen to that and then just start formulating opinions because you haven't heard all sides. So I didn't think that was cool. I was just kind of like, Tiffany, girl, you and your kitten heels. Anywho, moving forward. I do agree, however, that people need to work on their damn timing. So Destiny said that people don't respect her establishment and it's all about what they want to get off their chest. I agree. So then Tiffany is like, well, you weren't invited to certain things and then Galentine's happened and it's just, this is crazy. So, but Destiny did make a good point. Okay. She made a good point. She said, if I'm not invited to things for you, why would you show up if we're not cool? And you don't really want to support me. So why are you showing up? I agree, because this is my logic. Why is it good for them to be selective, but not her? So they can decide when the entire cast gets together, but she can't decide that she doesn't want the entire cast at one of her events? That don't make no sense to me. So Tiffany asked if any of it has tarnished the shop's reputation. Girl, nah, wasn't nobody at that shop, honey, but cast, production, Show Enough Wanda, her baked potatoes, Bernard and Dominicans, and production, honey. And then they threw in Scott and Cone Tessa for good measure. Should be fine. Moving forward. If there were a few paying customers in there, then maybe. But nobody knew about that hair store being back open yet. So that's the good thing, okay? I mean, it was all over social media, but they didn't really know where they were fighting. They just knew that they were fighting, because I don't think I remember hearing it was at Madani. Now, maybe it was, honey, because, child, it's a 24-hour watch for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So maybe they did say that. But all I'm saying is I don't think that it should hinder anything that has to do with your style. So Destiny said, she got apologies from everybody but Mel. In the next scene, Kimmy and Maurice are at home in the backyard. They're talking. Tisha shows up. She was like, well, I don't know where Marsau is. Maybe he'll show up because we had an argument last night. He told her in the argument that she needs to listen to him in those moments. And she was wondering why he was being so disrespectful and who the hell he was talking to. Okay? Because she didn't have nothing to do with all that fighting. He's upset because it's your mom attached to the mess. Every time y'all get together, Jalen's graduation dinner, Jalen's housewarming, this house store party, it's always some mess. And quiet as it's kept, we know he gonna have to jump in and defend you. And he don't want it with Martel because he already know Martel is ready to empty the clip on Mad Day. Tisha. That is the reason why he is upset. Girl, keep up. He want to keep all his skeletons in the closet because y'all finally getting along, honey. And really and truly, any man, I will say this, any man worth a hill of beans, if his wife is in a compromising position and there's a man right there, if that man just so happens to touch his wife, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's on and popping. So he doesn't even want to put himself in that position. So that's why he probably was saying to you, just step off to the side. Okay? Step over to the side because I don't want them to pop off because I'm already telling you it ain't going to end well. So just move along. So she wants Maurice to talk to Marsau about how he speaks to her. And Maurice was like, I'm be talking to myself and would. So Marsau finally arrives and they ask him how he's feeling about the whole thing. And he said, him and Martel, they squashed it because at the end of the day, each one of them going to protect their family, but they don't want them to potentially put themselves in harm's way. He was saying all this extra verbiage for what? Okay, the bottom line is you were trying to defend something you were wrong about and probably had to own up to being wrong. You were loud, you were wrong. He need a place to work and you need an ally. So y'all are cool. Allegedly. If I were Mel, I would cuss hotels smooth out. And here's why. You don't need to be making amends with people that think it's okay to speak about our kids unless you believe it too. Okay? Let me tell you something. This is about our kids. So you hemming and hawing and making amends and stuff now? Well, no, not right now. Honey, let me get myself together first. And then we can make amends. Honey, call me petty, call me childish, call me whatever you want. But don't call me on Sundays because I'm busy. Child, I don't really care, honey. I would cuss hotel all the way out. Do you hear me? Moving forward. So Kimmy was like, well, every few years this happens, so what we gonna do? So Marcel explains that both Mel and Wanda aren't backing down. They both have people around them that's gonna have their back. So Kimmy was like, okay, so how we gonna fix it? So Marcel was like, if Miss Wanda can't get it together and she can't be around them, you mean she can't be on the show? Because she's your kid's grandmother at the end of the day, so she gonna have to be around. So Maurice even explains that she's going to be around Tisha regardless. Well, I feel like maybe she should just be around Tisha. There's no reason for your mom to be in the mix. This is Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is not Love and Marriage and the Family. This is not that. So the fact that your mom is constantly in the mix is just not good. She needs to be outside of that. A scene every now and again where she stop by the house, speak, and see the kids. Oh, hey, mama. Hey, Miss Wanda. And y'all speak and she goes. Not her being invited to core cast events. That's a no-no, because it's just going to end in disaster. So Tisha and Kimmy, they go inside. And inside, Kimmy is telling Tisha that her getting into it with Mel will have, Marsau going to jail and whatnot. I hear you, Kimmy. But in real life, Tisha was just standing there. She wasn't doing nothing. And I think anyone would, if it were my family and you were my parent and you were about to be involved in something that could potentially harm you, and you're about to make an unwise choice, I'm going to step in between to try to diffuse the situation. All these conversations really need to go to Miss Wanda if we're really being real. Tisha's not going to comprehend any of this because at the end of the day, she going to fall back on, well, that's my mama. Well, that's my mama. So y'all can talk to you blue in the face. She's not going to understand what you're saying. She might understand it, but she's not going to take it in. Because you can communicate all day. It's about whether or not the person comprehends what you're saying. And for Tisha, she's not. Moving forward. So Marcel outside talking about Tisha gonna get him locked up. No, sir, you gonna get yourself locked up, okay? Because Martel was walking away from you. And Marcel was heated and got that fight started. I don't care what nobody say. The fight between Martel and Marcel was completely Marcel's fault. Martel was walking away from him because he was hard of understanding, sitting up there talking about stuff he don't know nothing about. Once Maurice co-signed it, then he really got heated because now he had been made a fool of and whatnot. And then he wanted to fight. So boy, goodbye. So Kimmy said, well, I don't know what we gonna do. And we don't really know what to do because Miss Wanda is your mama. It would be different if she wasn't your mom. Miss Wanda, like I said, only needs to converse with Tisha. So Kimmy is like, well, he's in a pickle because he adores you. And he wants to protect you. Ma'am, please. So Tisha is explaining that he told her that she needs to be silent because she doesn't have a voice. So for her, that was very hurtful. And that would be hurtful for me as well. Like, how you gonna tell me I don't have a voice? She's upset because although she understands him wanting to protect her, she's not a slave. Marceau is a male chauvinist pig, and he doesn't appreciate his wife in the slightest. So really and truly, I understand her being hurt. There's a better way to articulate to your wife to be more careful. So they go back outside and Marcel said, he ready to get back to building. Him and Martel can still, move forward. They were looking at the suites at Destiny's place. And Maurice was like, okay, Tisha, what do you think about that? And Tisha was like, I don't want to work with him again. I don't. I think that's best. She's like, when you keep seeing the same signs from a person, you can't ignore them. Miss ma'am, that's what they saying about your mama. When you keep seeing the same signs, then you can't ignore them. Girl. So Kimmy is like, well, how you gonna work with somebody you fighting? Sure, that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you right now, if the roles were reversed and Holt and Hope were intact, Mel would not allow Marceau working with them after fighting with her husband. She would not allow that. So Maurice asked if they could ever, hire him for certain jobs. And he's like, well, hiring an unlicensed contractor. Well, that's not. Well, child, you sure we're going to put him right on back in there and scold? Child, I don't want to hear nothing about this. Moving forward. In the next scene, Martel pulls up to Mel's house. Honey, she took him right on to the backyard. I know that's right, girl. Don't invite that energy in your house. Baby Mel took him right on outside, honey. Probably got her good man in there asleep. I know that's right, girl. So I'm just kidding. So they go on to the back and Mel starts telling him, how it went when she got there. So she's telling him, she spoke and whatnot. And Martel was like, well, she said you didn't speak. She said, no, I definitely did speak. I think she just likes to lie. In all fairness, I don't think she heard you. I don't think she just likes to go around lying. Girl. So then she recalls the altercation with Miss Wanda and her trying to sneak her from the bag. So she tells him that she appreciates him not letting nobody try to run up and hit her. And he said, at the end of the day, we're family and I don't want you in harm's way, or I don't want any hurt to come your way. Well, child, I wish you would exhibit that on social media, because you have no problem with making sure harm and hurt comes her way. I'm just saying. So Mel is trying to figure out why Maurice always tries to jump in when Marsau is fighting. Girl, they're brothers. I'm telling you right now, if I'm in a fight and my sister standing over there with her arms folded, honey, you ain't never got to worry about talking to me. Because whether we into it or not, if somebody swing on you, then they swung on me and we swinging. Girl, what are you talking about? Side note, Mel's skin gets me every time. It is flawless. That girl knows she got some good skin, honey. I got to get that to the heifer, honey. That skin is flawless, child. I was just looking at her. I'm like, she really does not need to wear makeup. Yes, makeup enhances. That's the same with Stormy. She has beautiful skin as well. And I'm like, baby, that skin is skinny. Child, get into it, honey. So Mel was asking him, what happened with the whole him and Marcel thing, like what was going on with the fight. Martel tells her, whatever happened with it. And he was just like, if Miss Wanda can't be tamed or they can't control her, then they shouldn't bring her around because she brings too much hostility and she plays too dirty and hits below the belt. So Mel was like, I don't want nothing to do with her. Like, I don't even want to be in her space. If she there, then I ain't there. If she on the right side of the road, I'm on the left side of the road, honey. We don't even need to cross paths, honey. If she at the Walmart, I'm going to the Target. I don't want nothing to do with Miss Wanda. Honey, as you shouldn't. So Martel asked Mel, do you think it's possible for the six of us to try to mend things and be cordial? And she's like, I don't know. So he wants to host a dinner if Mel is up for it. He wants to discuss Miss Wanda. And Mel thinks, if they remove Miss Wanda from the group, then they can move forward. Well, child, let's see how this gonna work. I'm hoping y'all can work it out, though, and get back to the original premise, because the original premise of the show was actually very, very good. So I'm just hoping that they can talk logically and hear each other out, which I know that's gonna be hard, honey, because everybody want to talk. Everybody want to be in charge. So let's just hope things work out. Moving forward. In the next scene, Tiffany in her biker shorts, honey, they go to see Stormy. I don't know. Tiffany be trying to dress young, honey, but she got this little chain on with these glasses. It's like she went into the store and said, give me everything fresh. What are the kids wearing today? Maybe she got the biker shorts on, a little piece and chain, some shades. I said, oh, honey, this is just too much. Child, this is a fool. Anyway, she shows up in her biker shorts. Hey, girl. Baby. Stormy has an estate. Do y'all hear me? She has a whole petting zoo. Honey, chickens and tigers and bears and horses and dogs. I was like, look at this acreage. Oh my gosh, honey. This is giving modern day Green Acres. Honey, if you don't know what Green Acres is, I know I'm showing my age. Please go ahead and hop on the Googler. This is inspirational to me, and I'm not joking. Like, this is inspirational. And not just the material side, but knowing how she came from meager beginnings. Like, she said she was in a 1-bedroom apartment. She had like $500. She had no money. And from that to this is what I'm talking about. This is what they mean when they say Black excellence. It's like I said, it's not just about the material things, but it's just knowing a person's story and then seeing where they are today. Because we can achieve those things. And I feel like that's what we need to be focusing on. I'm not saying just have a show that's boring. You'll sprinkle in a little bit of laughter, a little bit of shade, here and there. But the way this is going is totally different. And it's, it's not fun. Child, a dog done escaped. So her husband and his sandwich, and they got to go get it. Meanwhile, Tiffany and Stormy, they go feed the horses. So they sit down and they start talking about the motherhood and how they want to have more kids. And then Tiffany brings up Destiny's event. Child, the thunderstorm started roaring, the clouds rolled in. I said, baby, even Mother Nature upset with this foolishness. Baby, even Mother Nature don't want to hear nothing about it. So they get up, they go on the patio. This driveway that Stormy has, ma'am, you need a golf cart. Like, you can't just be having people walking all willy-nilly, honey. I would be so lazy on that estate, honey. I would need a golf cart. I'm like, listen, I'm going to need a specially made golf cart for when the weather gets stormy. Pun intended. So once they get to the patio, Tiffany was like, well, Destiny said that Mel beeline to Miss Wanda after Mel got done with her. And Stormy was like, what does she mean got done with her? And Tiffany was like, I don't really know. Tiffany's so excited to be in the middle of the mess. She just trying to get all the tea from everybody, but ain't went to Mel yet. So what happened? And so Destiny said, and so girl, what you think? You know, your little biker shorts, just messy. So Stormy was like, well, I mean, all I remember is she was yelling out the door behind Mel's back, and then Mel went to see Miss Wanda, but there wasn't any animosity. And girl said, what now? The whole event was filled with animosity from the time you walked in. So what are you talking about? There was definitely animosity when she went to speak to Miss Wanda because this woman had been talking about her kids. Girl, goodbye. She felt like, you know, Miss Wanda was the person that was wrong. She said she doesn't know what kicked it off, but she has never seen an older woman run up behind somebody and try to hit them. Now, that part was just ignorant. Because I'm like, man, what are you doing? And you know it take an older person a long time to heal. Child, this is just crazy. So Tiffany is trying to figure out, how is that okay? And girl, it's not. So Tiffany said, well, do you think that's going to hinder her store? Here goes Stormy. I mean, it's better than not being open. I mean, that's the most action her store has seen in a while. She should have just taken it. Okay. So people having a brawl out front in the parking lot and disrespecting her business is better than nothing? Come on now, Stormy Weather. Do you want to support black business or not? And see, this is probably the reason why Destiny don't want to be bothered with you. Because she already know you on some BS. Now I understand, you know, on all these shows, they get into the confessionals and they throw a little shade and it's cool. But it just felt like, why y'all always down on the girl? She's trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just didn't appreciate that. So Stormy tells Tiffany, you know, that she's doing a commercial for Canvas Beauty and she wants to know if Tiffany would be in it. Of course, Tiffany said yes, honey, because what else is going on? In the next scene, Martel goes to visit old shady Chris. I do not like Chris, okay? Martel tells us that Huntsville was voted the #1 place in America to live. Really? I need to take a trip down to Huntsville and see what all's doing. I ain't never been to Huntsville. I've been to Alabama before, but I've never been to Huntsville. So he said he's in the market for a home, and Chris found him the home that he's renting now. So Chris asked, you know, how things are going. He's like, how are them and them kids? And he's like, oh, everything's good. He's like, how's the co-parenting going? And Martel was telling him that he's going to pick up the kids soon and things are okay. Here go Chris. Oh, okay, because you remember the book signing and, you know, all that stuff was happening. Why are you bringing up old stuff? Why you bringing up the book signing, bro? He just told you it was fine. I'm not a Chris fan. And the reason why I'm not is because I feel like he's a mess maker. Because he's the one that was told messages between Mel and Martel that one season. He's shysty. He's a shyster. I don't trust nothing about Chris, honey. Moving forward. They're doing good. That's all that matters. So Martel said, you know, well, we're just gonna take it one step at a time. So then he tells him that Mel invited him to Destin. Child, he's so happy to be invited to Destin, child. He gonna shout it from the rooftop. He probably saying everybody he come in contact with, probably answer the phone like, good morning, this is Martel. Mel invited me to Destin. Oh, child. Oh, Hotel gonna make sure he let him know, honey. But I do think it's good that at this moment, okay, during this filming, that they are presenting united because the kids are going to remember that. And they're going to remember that they had a family vacation with mommy and daddy. And it was so fun because that's all that kids care about. So I do love the fact that Mel extended an olive branch to old Blockhead Hotel and is inviting him to Destin, honey. And he couldn't be happier. So he's like, well, was it because of Madani? No, sir. It was before Madani. She did not invite him. See, this is what I'm talking about with Chris. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. Why are you trying to say, be quiet? No, it wasn't about him taking up for her at Madani. Okay? That's what he should do, as he should. They're his children as well. And at the end of the day, that's the mother of his children. As ignorant as he get, I hope he ain't that ignorant. It was because she wanted to. See, I don't like Chris. I just don't like Chris. So Martel brings up Marsau and Chris is like, well, you know, working with him is a sticky spot. Martel said, yeah, because, you know, I've always done business with integrity. Really? Well, I wish that integrity carried over into your marriage. So he said, you know, I don't have time for what they got going on, so we won't be working together. So in the confessional, Martel is like, even though, you know, we hashed it out or whatever, I don't even know if we can be cool because I have said this to you before that my kids are off limits. It's just so funny to me that on one side, Marsau is over there saying, well, you know, I feel like we can move forward and build the suites. Martel is over here like, nah, bruh, we ain't cool. You don't step on my toes when it come to my kids. Child, this is a fool. So he tells them that, you know, he hopes that they're going to be able to move on And so Martel is like, listen, my lease is up. It's time for me to move. And here go Chris. Well, maybe after Destin, you won't have to. Here go Martel. Well, you never know. Child, Mel ain't going back over there. She better not. In the next scene, Stormy is at her warehouse and she invited Destiny over. So when she gets there, Stormy gets right to it. So she starts talking about what happened when she arrived. And so Destiny tells her she's happy how she came in her, unlike other people. See, Destiny, leave Mel out of it. This is about you and Stormy. Don't even mention Mel, because you know the people gonna tear you apart. Just don't even mention her. She has nothing to do with this. So Destiny tells her, listen, I wasn't receptive to you at all when you came, and I would have rather had some of your products than that Gucci bag. Oh, Lord. I don't have the energy. I really don't have the energy, child. I really don't. And so Stormy is trying to tell her what's the deal with that. She was like, my dream was to be in retail, but then, you reached out in the middle of me getting a distribution deal and working with a new broker, and they advised me that that was not the right time, and I was in a new relationship with them, so I couldn't just very well say yes. And for me, that made sense. So Destiny was like, well, it is what it is. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Destiny said at the end of the day, I'm always going to support Black business. So Stormy is like, well, we don't have to beef. And I mean, really, we don't have no beef for real. Even Mel said that. She said, I don't know what you and her got going on, but I'm not just going to dislike someone just because somebody else does. I'm going to get to know you for myself. And I think that that's very mature. Just don't play both sides and don't talk about one to the other. If you talking to Mel, talk to her about your friendship only. If you talking to Destiny, talk to her about your friendship only. Really and truly, that never works out well because it's always going to be some mess. But y'all, we're going to see how it's going to go. So then Stormy goes, even with Mel, who is our common friend, Stormy, they are not friends. The only thing they have in common is living in Huntsville. That's it. So Destiny said, well, no, I don't know about common friend. So in the confessional, she was like, Stormy thinks that they're friends and that's fine, but please don't speak for me. The fact that she came into my establishment and she didn't speak, that's not how you start things for me. Ma'am, she spoke to you. I wonder what Destiny is thinking after seeing this back. I wonder what she's thinking. And I'm sure at the reunion, she's going to say, well, even if she did speak, I didn't hear her. Or she could have came up to me directly or something. I know that's how this is probably going to play out, but I'm just wondering how she feels, seeing it back. So Stormy was like, listen, I don't know why y'all were arguing or whatever. I don't know what's going on with y'all. So Destiny explains, that Mel didn't speak. So Stormy said, well, I feel like you should have said something to her. You should have been like, hey. And Destiny was like, no, I didn't have the energy for that. Stormy, I agree with you. Like I said last review, if you come in and you don't speak to me, I'm going to say something. Girl, not you walking up in my place and ain't said nothing. Because you can go. Okay, you can very well much go, honey. You can go. Child, I get a little hood sometimes. Honey. I do understand, however, Destiny being upset about them doing the fool in that parking lot. Now, I do understand that. So Stormy in her confessional, she's like, after hearing her side, I just really don't understand what's the problem. Girl, Stormy wants to get everybody together. Destiny tells her, listen, in order for the two of us to move forward, me and you, please leave Melody out of it. Okay, just leave her out of it. I agree. Stormy, stay out of the mix, honey. Let them sort it out. If they don't want to be friends, then they don't want to be friends. And I know it'll probably be easier for Stormy for them to be friends, but they don't want to be friends, honey. So just let it be. In the next scene, Marsau and Tisha are at Black, honey. It's looking like after hours because I ain't seen not a patron in sight. But then as the scene went on, the people started, trickling in. So I guess they had just opened. Honey, I don't know how it was going, but it was getting empty when it first started. So in walks Funky Dineva with the cameo. Hey, Funky. So they trying to act all shocked. Talking about, what? Look who it is. Quentin Latham, a.k.a. Funky Dineva. Nessa, girl, y'all knew he was coming. Y'all knew he was coming and y'all ain't fooling me. Here go Tisha. I'm a little bit nervous about why he's here. Okay, Tisha. So Dineva comes on in, honey, trying to get a drink on the house. So Marcel was like, well, as much as you've done for me, that's the least I can do. Well, y'all know he was, promoting the chocolate in a bottle. So I'm assuming that's what he means, honey. I don't know what they got going on behind the scenes, but that ain't none of my business. Funky was just letting Tisha know that he's thankful that Marcel doesn't treat him any differently because he's a gay man. Because, most straight men, they feel like having a gay man as a friend is taboo. And Marcel was like, listen, I feel like they do that because they're not secure in their manhood. So they want to be overly masculine to the point that it's toxic. But I'm here to prove you can be a toxic man and not be homophobic. Well, honey, at least you know you're toxic. Okay, at least you know. So then he brings up the rumble in the jungle, because now it's time for what the people want. Y'all want to talk about it? Here it go. So, child, fucking Dineva said, was y'all fighting out in the street, honey? Because I had seen a little bit, honey. Mel was on live, that Bob was bobbing. So I'm just trying to figure out if y'all was fighting. So Tisha starts to give her recollection of events, and then Marsau jumps in. And so Funky tells Tisha, you put him in a dangerous situation. That's how y'all women do. Y'all be fussing and fighting and could potentially get the man sent to jail because he gonna have to jump in to protect you. So Marsau was like, well, I think we can fire Dr. Francis and hire Dr. Funky Dineva because he thinks like a man and a woman. He's a man at the end of the day, Marsau. And you need a licensed professional, okay? Because something wrong with you, allegedly. Him and Tisha were straight up acting in that confessional. Because he was like, well, we can fire Dr. Francis. Here go Tisha. Why? Because we can go to Dr. Funky. I'm like, oh, child, please, honey. Oh, y'all getting on my nerves. So Funky tells her that it feels like Miss Wanda is fighting her battles and she's complicit with her silence. Period. Dot. Funky. That's exactly what it is. Been saying that for years, honey. Miss Wanda is speaking for Tisha. Everything that Tisha wants to say, Miss Wanda is saying it. You're absolutely right. So she's explaining. And so he said, but at what point do you say, mama, if you don't stop, you can't come around here no more? Here go Marcel. You better not agree with him. I've been saying this. Sir, learn how to talk to your wife, you jerk. You aren't wrong. Okay, you aren't wrong in feeling like it's a slap in the face for her to listen to him, but she's not hearing you. But it's the way that you say things. You could have said, now, Tisha, I have been trying to explain this to you for years. Maybe you'll listen to it coming from somebody on the outside. Not, you better not listen to him. You got to really watch how you speak to the lady. So Tisha was like, well, I just feel like it's a level of respect. So Funky is trying to tell her, girl, it's 2022. You got to unlearn all that stuff you did learn and keep some of the stuff that makes sense and some of the stuff that doesn't. Side note, I don't know why to me in this scene, Tisha was looking like Regine. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the hair, if it was the angle or what. But I was like, why's she looking like Regine? But anyway, she's like, well, what you think I should do? He said, tell her to shut the hell up because if you don't, you can't come around here no more. First of all, I'm never going to speak to my mom like that. That's just me. Okay? I'm not. Number one, Tisha is a lot like Candy with Mama Joyce. She is not going to check her mama. Number two, there's a way to respectfully speak to your parent. I agree with the message, but not the delivery. That's just my opinion. I don't feel like you got to cuss your parent out to get them to understand, no matter how ignorant they are. Okay? Set clear boundaries, distance yourself, and they will learn. Okay, it's either do this or you won't see me. Okay, because we have to unlearn these behaviors. Number three, Tisha playing crazy because at the end of the day, that's her mama. And she knows she the only one that got her back. Marcel treats her like dirt, honey, and treats her good when he feels like it. He treats her all right when the cameras come up. Kimmy is a flip-flopper, and Maurice gonna do whatever appeases Marcel. Mel can't stand her. Destiny over there talking to her. But if Mel get back on track with Destiny, honey, she gonna deuces as soon as she can. Tiffany in between ain't got a place to go, honey. She don't know what to do. And Stormy don't really just kick it with Tisha like that. So at the end of the day, therefore and thus and such, Tisha ain't crazy. She know exactly what's going on with her mama. But Tisha, what he's saying to you is correct. You need to tell your mom once and for all, I am a 40-plus-year-old woman. You cannot continue to come into these spaces and behave this way. When you do, that falls back on me. If you love me, then you need to start respecting what I'm asking you. If you don't respect what I'm asking you, then we're going to have to find a different way to interact with each other. And that's it. That's all. And that was the end of the episode. Share your comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. It didn't give much, but y'all know I try to put a little zhuzh on it, honey. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.